The sound that ended it all wasn't some angry yell or a clever comeback. No, it was the screech of metal and the thunder crack of my front gate nearly flying off its hinges, right before Mara Penrose's luxury SUV buried its nose into the barricade I'd built, smoke rolling up from the crumpled hood. I remember neighbors peeking out from behind their curtains, eyes wide, nobody quite sure whose side to be on. And there was Mara, queen of our HOA, standing in her workout gear, mascara smudged, staring at her wrecked Lexus like she couldn't believe reality had finally smacked her back. That's when I knew the battle for my driveway had just escalated into an all-out neighborhood war. Now, for the record, I'm not the kind of guy looking for drama. Give me a quiet morning. My old dog Daisy snoring at my feet, a hot mug of coffee, and I'm a happy man. But everything changed the morning Mara decided my gate was her shortcut to the yoga studio. Picture this, 6 a.m. Sun not even up, and she's striding across my driveway. Didn't even nod, just popped the latch, let it clang so loud it made my teeth hurt, then marched through like she owned the place. First time, I figured, all right, maybe she's late. But the next day, and the day after that, suddenly, her shortcut was my daily headache. You ever get a sound stuck in your life so sharp it just drills into your skull? That was my gate, thanks to Mara. Even Daisy started pacing by the window every morning, ears perked, waiting for the show. The neighbors saw it, too. The Reynolds across the street gave me that tight-lipped HOA survival smile. You know the look. I see nothing. I say nothing. Because in neighborhoods like ours, you keep your grass green, your mailbox pretty, and your head down. Whenever the HOA president decides the rules are more like suggestions. But on day 4, I finally had enough. I stepped outside, barefoot, coffee in hand, and said, "You really ought to fix this gate." She didn't even pause, just shoved it open harder and said, "It sticks." I told her it only stuck because she slammed it every morning. She kept walking, didn't even glance back. That's when it clicked. Arguing would get me nowhere. With people like Mara, volume is just ammunition, and if you raise your voice, suddenly you're the bad guy. So I got smart. Dug the HOA handbook out from the pantry, flipped through until I found it. Community access meant sidewalks, park trails, easements, not private driveways. Circled it in red, left it right on the counter. Sometimes, you just need proof reality still has boundaries. But the damage didn't stop. Saturday, I had the gate open to unload lumber from my truck. And here comes Mara, striding through like she's on the final lap of a 5K, grabs the gate, slams it right into my fender. The screech was awful, and she just looked at me with that little smirk and said, "You shouldn't park so close to the gate." Poor planning. Then she just kept walking. That was it for me. Something inside just snapped. That night, I went to work. Didn't tear out the gate, just added a spring to the latch. Nothing dramatic, just enough to fight back. The next morning, I watch from the window. She grabs, yanks, the spring bites back, and she almost loses her balance. Red-faced, looking around to see who noticed. Daisy sneezed. I sipped my coffee. For a second, I thought that might be the end of it. But no, small victories just make some folks hungrier. 3 days later, before sunrise, I hear an engine idling. My gate flies open. Mara's Lexus rolls right into my driveway like it's a public street. I ran out, pajamas and all. Hands up. "Mara, are you kidding me? This isn't a road." She rolls her window down just an inch, sunglasses on before the sun's up, and says, "It's easier this way. Fewer footprints on your grass." Then she floors it, leaving black streaks on my driveway. That's when I installed the motion cam. Tiny thing, looked like a screw. But I wasn't done. I put in 2 steel bollards just inside the gate, removable for me, immovable for her. Next morning, she doesn't even slow down. Lexus crunches against the post, metal screams, plastic cracks, steam hisses. She stumbles out. No lecture this time, just pure panic. I told her, "Looks like the gate." Stuck again, couldn't keep the sarcasm out of my voice. She threatened me, said, "You'll pay for this." I just tipped my mug toward the camera. Tow truck came, hauled her car away. The Reynolds gave me a discreet wave. You know, the good luck, we're rooting for you, but from a distance kind. But I knew better. Mara didn't lose. She collected grudges. 2 days later, I get a certified letter. HOA logo, full of legalese, accusing me of hazardous obstructions at a shared access point. No names, just the HOA, which meant Mara. I didn't fight it, just sent the footage straight to her insurance company. Sometimes liability bites harder than bylaws. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd won. But the next day, the bollards were gone. Not knocked over, gone. Unscrewed in the night, tire tracks in my driveway. She'd stolen them, bold as brass. I knocked on her door, phone recording. She opened with a smile, so sharp you'd cut yourself looking at it. Your little roadblocks were dangerous for children. I did the neighborly thing and had them removed. I asked, you mean you stole them? She just chirped, community safety comes first, and shut the door. So I went bigger, retractable bollards, set in concrete, locked underground. The next morning, I sat on the porch, Daisy at my feet, coffee in hand, and waited. Mara rolled up, frowned, pushed forward. I turned the key, posts rose up with a satisfying thunk. She slammed the brakes, head snapping forward. This is illegal, she shouted. So's driving through someone's yard. I shot back. She sped off, furious. Within a day, flyers showed up, emergency HOA meeting, hazardous, dangerous for children, you name it. Community center smelled like burnt coffee and bad carpet. Mara, front and center, blazer crisp, voice smoother than glass. One rogue homeowner is endangering us all. Folks clapped, 'cause it's easier than thinking. When it was my turn, I didn't speak. I just plugged in the USB, let the footage play. Gate slams, dented truck, Lexus crumpled. The room went quiet. Mara tried. It's out of context, but everyone knew better. You'd think that would end it. Nope. Next 2 weeks, I got anonymous letters, unfriendly, trash cans tipped, a rock against the porch at night. HOA clipboard crew paraded up, parroting Mara's script about hazardous obstructions. I told them if they kept it up, they'd meet me in a bathrobe. Mara even took it to the county, claimed my bollards were unpermitted structures. Inspector came, tapped them with his boot, shrugged. I've seen worse. They retract. Gray area at worst. He warned me. HOA might try to make paperwork a pain. I handed him a coffee. Always be good to folks who sign off on your week. But late at night, I started to doubt myself. Was I really the stubborn neighbor? Was I dragging the street into a feud over a stupid gate? Should I just let Mara have her shortcut? But then I'd look at that den in my truck, at Daisy dreaming of gates slamming, and I remembered Mara's smirk. That's when it hit me. Giving up isn't peace. It's permission, and I wasn't about to hand that over. So I started talking. Not angry, just honest. Showed neighbors the video, apologized for the noise, let the truth speak for itself. Stories poured out, Mara. Riding up kids for scooters, warning folks about flower beds, measuring cars at the curb. Fear had become culture, and all it took to break it was someone refusing to flinch. We got enough. Signatures for a recall. Night of the vote, the room was packed. Mara tried to act unfazed, but you can't fake confidence when your foundation's cracked. The USB played, clip after clip. Hands went up. Even her loyalists started shifting in their seats. It was over. Mara lost her seat. Her smile just vanished, like someone unplugged her from the wall. A couple nights later, Daisy went wild at the window. I found Mara at my gate, crowbar in hand, trying to break the lock. I filmed, called the sheriff. They cuffed her gently, the way you cuff someone you've seen at every Christmas parade. She came home to a street that didn't wave. But she wasn't done. Complaints kept coming. One night, I caught her on camera pouring salt across my lawn, a thin white scar in the grass. That crossed the line. Gave the footage to the sheriff, came back as criminal mischief. Papers served on her porch, neighbors watching from behind curtains. Her last act? A lawsuit. Accused me of harassment, defamation, even hinted I set her shed on fire. My lawyer Lionel just handed the judge the record. Clips, letters, crowbar, the salt, the dent, the radiator hiss. Judge looked at her, looked at me, said, "This isn't harassment. This is documentation." Case dismissed, fees awarded. Gavels really do sound like freedom. A month later, Mara's house had a for sale sign. She was gone before the spring. These days, I open my gate slow, 2 fingers, a quiet click. Mornings are mine again, just coffee, birdsong, Daisy sighing in the sun. And you know what? I don't miss the drama. I don't miss the clang. I just know peace doesn't come from surrendering your ground. It comes from standing on it and letting the world see what happens next. So, let's hear it. Who was right? Who was wrong? Did I go too far? Or was standing up the only way forward? Drop your story, your hot take, down in the comments. Because in the end, this is every neighborhood, isn't it? And every one of us has a gate.